Hey guys, we're going to start with a quick video, and then I'll tell you to what for.
John.
You got your video? You got your video? Got any more volume? Yeah.
You don't call me anymore. You just say you're busy. See you laughing with the world, but you don't make time for me. You walk past everything I gave like it was nothing at all. I gave you my whole life. You can't give me one call. I'm still your father. Why do I feel erased? Yeah, I had flaws. Yeah, I got loud. But I never once walked out. After I'm gone, you'll feel this pain. Every ignored text, every missed name. When the wood hits dirt and the crowd goes home, you finally understand what it means to be alone. You'll say you love me, you'll cry on cue. When love shows up, why didn't you? I was here, I was breathing. You just stopped believing. I was sick, you didn't know. I was weak, you didn't show. You never asked if I was okay. You never missed me enough to stay. I waited for you, you never came. Now I'm just a fading name. I told myself you'd come around, but hope gets quiet without a sound. After I'm gone, you'll wish you tried. You'll replay nights, you let me cry. You'll stand there shaking hands in regret, wishing you could undo what you chose to forget. You'll say you love me, baby, you did. But love isn't words, it's what you give. Jesus forgives, I hope he does. Because one day you'll answer for us, and he'll ask you, simple and plain, why you never came.
I ran across that. Ran across that a month or so ago. I really found it to play next month. We usually do something in June for Father's Day. Thought that was a pretty good song, and I was going to use it. I sent it to Glenn to see what he thought about it. He said, Joe, that's AI. I said, Glenn, this ain't AI. This guy's got a whole album of songs. He's got 12. He said, it's AI. I said, it ain't no such thing. He's got an album. He's got a kid that sings with him. Glenn said, Joe, it's all AI. The kids AI, the album's AI. So I said, they can't make a person sing like that and make a whole album of music and it be AI. This guy's named Michael Thomas Bennett, and he was created by AI January, February of this year. And he does have an album. He's got 12 songs on an album. He's got a son that sings, and he's got a lady that's joined him, but I quit following him because I've been lied to. I wasn't too happy about it. And if you don't think this stuff can fool you, throw your next slide over, Mr. Glenn.
Coming right up.
Producer Glenn, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see that ugly mug in the back, but that fella is on the cover of Pro Fisherman Magazine, Fishing Legend, Moments Worth Reeling. That's AI too. I did catch that fish, but that's been a long time ago.
I don't know.
I said, lie to me once, your fault. Lie to me twice, my fault. So I quit following that boy singing. You know, I don't like to be deceived. I was going to talk tonight about deceived, and I told Wesley a while ago, I said, I just won't quick enough, but I meant to send the email out today. I told you we were going to have hot dogs, burgers, and that. If I'd have been quick, I'd have told you we were going to have filet mignon and twice baked potatoes and a salad bar, and we're going to talk about deceit. And y'all would have been deceived. But looking at that video, I'm thinking, do we need a radio anymore? Would I ever go to another concert? We like music. We like concerts. I play music here, or try to. And I enjoy a good concert. I enjoy live music. But if you can Google up somebody that's good as that guy is on demand, I see no reason to go to a concert. I see no reason for Hank Jr. to ever pick up a guitar again or any of the rest of them. And I thought, I went further. I said, well, what about, teachers? If you can make somebody sing, you can make somebody teach. And you can have them teach whatever you want them to teach. And that's where I want to go tonight. I want to understand I've been deceived. And I didn't think I was that easily deceived, but I got deceived. And I think we can all get deceived. Can be singers, can be teachers. I thought, what if they made a preacher like that? Somebody creates him, somebody somewhere tells him what to say and how to say it and makes it believable. Those words are as good as anything I've ever heard in a song. And a preacher that can draw your attention and draw you in and get your trust and confidence in him. I'm thinking that could happen. I know a lot of mega churches, they've videoed a preacher and sent him off to what they call another off-site campus, and the same preacher speaking, and I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but this could go further, and the preacher that you see speaking may not be a preacher. Someone has created a person. I do know there's a shortage of pastors. There's a lot of churches don't have a pastor. There's a lot of pastors that serve two churches. So having a shortage of pastors, there might be a demand for AI to create a pastor, a preacher. It's just where my mind goes with some of this stuff. There's certainly not a line of folks getting in Bible colleges and being called to preach. It's thankless position, taken for granted. It's just not a desirable position. So right now, I'd say, well, we could just Google us up one. Google up a message, Google up a pastor. The church has been a gathering place for several hundred years. God said, where two or more are gathered together, there I will be also. And I think God wants us together. And I know personally, I can't get as much out of a video as I can sitting in a church pew listening to a preacher speak. Years ago, I started taking notes. It helps me to focus. My mind will go somewhere else. But if I'm taking notes, I'm listening to that pastor. I'm following along with his sermon a lot better. If it's on a video, I'm just not going to be able to follow it. But if somebody could create a pastor, my fear is that he could draw a congregation into trusting them and lead them in a different direction. If it ain't the preacher that you're listening to that's doing the speaking, you don't know he ain't real. It's just an imaginative thing. And you might say, well, I don't think there's much to that. I don't believe I could be led astray. But while looking at stuff and Googling around, as I say, I use Google a lot. Revelations 13, verse 15, 17, and this is the New Living Translation version. He's speaking about the beast that's talked about through the book of Revelations. He says in Revelations 13, 15, 17, he was then permitted to give life to the statue so that it could speak. Then the statue of the beast commanded that anyone refusing to worship it must die. What's the difference in giving life to a statue so that it could speak and creating somebody on AI to speak? This Revelation wrote 2,000 years ago, 2,500 years ago, and the statue speaks. Same thing, I think, could be created and make someone speak, make you think they are real. You say, I still don't believe that'll happen. I just would not follow that, and I'm strong enough to understand. I just wouldn't follow it. But in 1970, a preacher named Jim Jones started a church. It's called the People's Temple. You guys remember the People's Temple? Led nearly 1,000 people. They grew confident in him, trusted him, believed in him. One Sunday in 1972, he offered them some form of communion, and all the attendees who drank it died. They were poisoned. They followed him, deceived. They were deceived. That was 54 years ago, way before the internet, way before Google, certainly before AI, but they were deceived. Without equipment, they were deceived. What could they do today with all the stuff going on that looks so real? I think it would be pretty easy to get led away from the proper track. I noticed, I told you a couple of times, Alex, my son, had given me a concordance. I mean, the book's this thick and the print's so fine you got to have a magnifying glass to read it, but there's a lot of information. I looked up the word deceived in there, and there were several explanations, several dictations of it. Mostly the Greek word was rama. May not pronounce it right, but that means to betray or to lie to. But in this text, the Greek word was planao, means to draw one away or to wander, to be drawn away by deception. You really wouldn't know you're deceived. That was kind of the thing about being deceived. You don't know you're deceived. If so, you wouldn't have been deceived. It's kind of deep there, ain't it? The Apostle Paul in the New Testament said his greatest fear, 2 Corinthians 11:3, but I am afraid that just as the serpent deceived Eve by his craftiness, I looked that one up in my concordance, it means sophisticated trickery, his craftiness. So I'm afraid, just as the serpent deceived Eve by his craftiness, the devil ain't no fool, guys. He said, your minds will be led astray from the simplicity of devotion to Jesus Christ. What Paul's saying is it's simple to follow Christ. Simple. But the devil is crafty. Sophisticated craftiness will lead you astray. This stuff could very, very easily be created by the devil. And it kind of caught me a little bit off guard, just as Eve was deceived. Well, we all know Eve ate of the fruit. And that's been the story for life. But I want to make you aware of something that I got aware to. And why Paul says that was his biggest fear. You would think Paul would have several fears. He'd been blinded, beaten, jailed, sentenced to death, beaten with rods, and left for dead. But his fear is that we, you and I, would be deceived by Satan, just as Eve was deceived. It kind of hit me pretty hard, and I got to reading. And Eve was deceived, but sin entered through Adam, not through Eve. Even though Eve ate of the apple, let me explain where I'm going with that. Women are easily deceived, but men are rebellious. We, you and I, are more rebellious than deceived. Genesis 2nd chapter, verse 17, God told Adam, you shall not eat of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, or you shall surely die. He told Adam. That was in the 17th verse of the 2nd chapter. Eve was created in the 22nd verse of the 2nd chapter. Eve was not there when God told Adam not to eat of the tree of good knowledge. She came later. She got secondhand information. She could be easily deceived. Adam got it straight from God. Adam knew better. Adam rebelled. He was not deceived. He rebelled. I think about that today. How many times have I done something? I know this is not right, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's something that I want to do. Men are bad for rebelling. You say, well, the Bible really don't say Adam ate of the apple. Yeah. 2nd chapter, verse 22. If I can find it here. said, Eve ate of the apple, and then she gave to Adam, who was there. He was beside her at the same time. I'm saying Adam sinned. Adam knew from God, not secondhand information. Eve was deceived because she had heard it from Adam, not firsthand information. Both sinned, but sin entered the world through Adam, not Eve. It's Genesis 3, verse 6. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and he ate. He was right there as the devil was deceiving Eve. He could have stepped in and spoke up. He heard it straight from God. She did not. He was rebellious. Eve might have been deceived, but Adam was rebellious. And she said the tree was desirable and it looked good. The reason I say Adam was not deceived, again, in reading through here, 1 Timothy 2:14 tells us, and Adam was not deceived, but the woman being deceived fell into transgression. 1 Timothy says Adam was not deceived. Again, he was rebellious. He knew it was wrong, said, I'm doing it anyway, something I want to do. Men typically are that way. I have my moments when I'm that way, especially in the past. Hope I'm better now, but I still have my times. Honestly, I'm not smart enough to talk about AI. Fool me. Glenn picked up on it just like that. And when I go back and watch it, I can play a guitar enough to tell you this guy ain't playing that guitar. His fingers don't match notes. You can tell that too, Seth. I know you can.
I was trying to figure out what kind of guitar it was. I couldn't
Yeah.
see it.
It was a fake one. That's what kind it was. We have a duty to pay attention. Chris Dudley 2 weeks ago did a sermon here as good as anything you've ever heard. We are responsible for our kids. We are to be the shield. Now, if we can be deceived, certainly the kids can be deceived. This stuff sounds good, looks good. I could listen to this guy sing 3-4 hours at a time. I enjoy good music. He's got a good voice. The words are so meaningful. And again, he's got an album full of them, and all of them are like this. The kid's named Mateo, his son, that sings just like him. Plays the guitar, got a great voice. Meaningful, meaningful words. The words are as good as anything I've ever heard. But it ain't right. It's fake. It's somebody's imagination. It's not even that. It's a computer generated. Somebody puts a topic in, and that computer pulls thousands and thousands of algorithms to put this together. It's over my head, fellas. Way over my head. But it's out there. I was talking to a friend of mine's son, had his oil changed in my shop. We were sitting here talking about this stuff, and something came up about AI. He says, hey, I got 17 classmates thrown out of state college this year. 17. AI. They had AI write their term paper. They got caught, and they kicked them out of class. He said AI is checking AI. They use an AI program, and it will recognize what it put out there for them to put in their term paper and tells on them. But it's there coming. I don't know about a teacher. I certainly don't want an AI doctor. Hey, Google, how big's this incision need to be to get his heart out? Yeah.
Well, AI won't do the surgery, but I would want AI to pull a collective of people together to tell me what my symptoms are to give me a possibility of what could be wrong with me.
That
But
sounds
instead
like
of
you,
getting
Mr.
one guy's idea on what's wrong with you, I'd like 1,000 people tell me what the thing's going on.
You didn't know Gil Johnson.
No.
He could have told you what was wrong with you. He didn't need this. It's just scary. If Paul says his biggest fear is that we're going to be deceived as Eve was deceived, I would pay attention. I would pay attention. The Bible says Satan is described as a wolf in sheep's clothing. I pretty much believe that. I really believe that 100%. it just would be easier to see if it didn't happen so subtle and it was so, I guess, pleasant to the eyes. Remember what Eve said about the tree? It was pleasant to the eyes and desirable to make one wise. Things that are pleasing. I can listen to this guy sing all night, but there ain't no telling what his words would mean. First song may be okay, the second one somewhat, and by the 12th one in that album, he may be leading you somewhere we don't need to go. But it is the forsaking of the right path. So all I can tell you, I can't help you. I'm not smart enough to help you. But be alert, pray for God's direction, and by all means, don't ask Google.
Well, if it's AI, why do you put that on the TV set?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
God can.
Yep, he can. That's all I got. But please, 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 as I didn't do, pay attention as you read and see and watch. And don't let this stuff deceive you, because it's out there. And I do appreciate all of you coming. I know it's a holiday, should be with your families, but we're all family. So thank you again for coming. Next month, we'll do a little bit, kind of a tribute toward dads, I hope. I don't have anything together, but usually we do. I ask if you bring kids, grandkids, you, buddy, we're going to have a pancake supper next month. Pancakes and sausage, guys. And I don't know the date, but the last Monday in June.
28th or 29th.
Yep. Well, I happen to have one of these fancy cars here. Can't you see it? But June 29th.